Hi everyone, and myself Dipesh Parwar, and I joined Futures First in July 2005 in Gurgaon for 3 months, and then we moved to Bangalore. And I was in Bangalore for about 3 years. Then I shifted to Calcutta as a deputy head of Calcutta branch. I was there for 6 months, and then I was deputed to Jaipur in 2008 as co-head of Jaipur branch. And I was co-head for about 1.5 years, and then I was offered a hedge fund, like the first hedge fund in Futures First, and that was 2010. So I was in hedge fund for about 2 years and then moved back to trading, like since hedge fund was closed because of some issues, and then I moved back to trading. But like since most of you are new joiners, so I can relate quite a lot, and I can tell you few like of my experiences which you might be able to relate and see where you can improve or see things. Now, when like Futures First was not my so-called dream company, because back in 2005 Futures First was just 1-year-old company, and nobody knew कि क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, like what will happen. And I had never heard of the company. I was well placed in TCS through campus, and TCS was sort of dream company because TCS just came up with their stock market issue, and there was all hoopla about TCS. And when you talk to your relatives, friends, everybody used to say very good, yeah, TCS mein ho gaya, and you got placed in TCS. He knew like I was interested in stocks from college time, so he just came to know, and he just said ki there's a off-campus recruitment of a company which is into some equities or stock market kind of thing. So I said, yeah, like what will it offer? It might be client kind of role. You have to pick up clients like what we have with brokerage houses in India. So it's still fine. I don't have anything to lose. I'll just go and write my test interview, and let's see one more test interview. And I went for a test interview into a hotel and got interviewed, and I came back. And since our engineering was completed, so I moved back to Jaipur because I had nothing to do in Bangalore that time. And TCS joining was in October of 2005. So 3 months I had nothing to do, and I just got a call from Futures First that you have been placed and your joining would be in October in Bangalore. We are sending you offer letter, please sign it back and send it back to us. So I just went through offer letter, there was no bond, nothing as such. So I signed back the offer letter and I said, okay, I'll be joining. Like, why to say no? It was well said that I would be joining TCS in Bangalore, and obviously Futures First is not an option at all, because you don't know anything about the company, and you just don't want to risk your career at that point of time. Then after a week I again got a call from HR that why don't you join Futures First in Gurgaon in July, and then after 3 months we'll shift you to Bangalore when the Bangalore office is open. Okay, this was it, and I think that was like I said I have nothing to do, and 20,000 rupees a month, that was the salary that time. 20,000 rupees a month, it's like your pocket money, so just go and enjoy 3 months and come back. And so I came to Gurgaon, and it was those 3 months in which when we actually got hold of work. What work we are supposed to do, independent decision making. You have to take your own decisions. You are connected with the global markets at on the front end, and that was something very, 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 I would say, like exciting. So those 3 months, it was again a tough call after 3 months. But one thing was clear: ki this kind of work is definitely not available all around India, or let's say in the industry. But work, what I'm supposed to do in TCS might be available after 6 months, but this work might not be available after 6 months if I don't take it. So I decided to give it a shot, and that is how like my joining of Futures First happened. And then after 3 months we shifted to Bangalore, and we were the first batch in Bangalore to start, like 4 of us. And initially I was a very aggressive trader. We started in Euro-dollar markets. I was very aggressive trader. My trading style used to be a scalper. I always intended to enter in the market with the thought process of scalping with one take. I never liked spreading, because I thought ki if I buy, I sell, I make a spread, then again I have to sell and again I have to buy. So it's a tedious task, you have to be right 4 times to make a take out of it. Whereas in scalping, if you're right once, you make a take out of it. So I always loved scalping, and that was my trading style. My volumes were low, but my profitability was high. And I was among like the first in the batch to get my clip size increased from, let's say, 2 to 5, then 5 to 10, then 10 to 50, 50 to 100, and then to 300. And there was a unique thing about my clip size, that whenever, there are two things, your clip size and your order size. Your order size is always 2 times or 4 times of your clip size, just in case, you know, you have to place orders different point of time. But I always had in my mind ki clip, if I've got my clip increased from, let's say, 10 to 50, so my first trade won't be with 50, it would be with 100. Like when I used to come out of the cabin of my manager, so 50 se, let's say the clip size got increased to 50. Now first trade I used to spot ki 50 se do baar kaise marta, like how can I hit twice with 50, and then try to scalp it. So there were most of the times at that during that phase when everything was going well, you know, during mid of the day I used to already make around 250-300 takes within 200-300 round turns, and I was done for most of the day, because that used to be really good money at that point of time, like within 1.5 years. And then I got my clip increased to from 100 to 300 once, and that was a story when we are sitting in a dollar pit, and everyone was saying ki sell this price. Normally we tend to say sell this price looks good, the backup is good, let's sell this price. So everyone sold a price, and they're shouting ki ye backup hai, this is the backup. So I just got hold of the backup, and I was just waiting for treasuries to, you know, inch up with my 300 clip. So suddenly I saw treasuries just moving up. Somebody hit the backup with 500 lots, and I hit with 300 lots one go, and there's a sound in the pit, "Arey backup ud gaya." And that moment I knew ki it's a one tick scalp, definitely. And that was one of the like best moments initially starting, that scalping with 300 lots with one tick, you know. So you're almost done for the day, and the whole of the day you're trading with 1050 and you're trying to make it 350, 400 ticks, which was very good. So everything was going well, you're making money, you're picking up bonuses, and then as usually it happens in all the, you know, perfectly scripted stories, or let's say movies, that bad times come. And same thing happened with me. My weaknesses got exposed when the markets changed, and I still remember this figure, Philadelphia Fed, which I can never forget in my life. Normally today also when few traders, you know, newcomers or existing one comes and say me ki Philadelphia Fed, it's not that important figure, I just laugh inside and say it's very important for me, and it will always remain. I remember the figure came very weak, and that time my clip was 200 and my limits was 440, and my trading style always used to be a range bound trader, and I always try to, you know, capture the tops and the bottoms and try to average around those prices. I never used to cut easily, like that was one of my weakness ki while stopping out I was very weak. So the figure came weak, and normally we had spotted Euro-dollar markets normally don't break out of 14-15 ticks range. So it was already a 14 ticks move. I went short 100 lots, went against 3 ticks or 4 ticks, again went 100 short, added more, and it again went 3-4 ticks against, and I added 200 more this time. And I was just thinking ki just let it retrace 4 ticks, and it would be the biggest day in FF for the company, also for some trader making that kind of money. But obviously like it never happened that way, and suddenly I saw my PNL and market moved further against me, and I saw my PNL, it was showing me 2200 ticks loss, and that was a magnitude at that stage wherein people used to leave the company, or you know, or they used to get fired, or they used to leave the company when they were in debit of 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Because us time, that was a psychology at that time, that if you're in 5,000-6,000 pounds debit, you cannot cover it back, and your trading career is finished basically. So it's better you leave early, otherwise you're just wasting your time. And suddenly the risk team in Gurgaon, which is there, it was not there. There used to be only one risk, Central Risk London. So call from Central Risk London came. Our manager was not in the office that time, and the guy said, "What are you doing? Just get out of your positions." So I said, yes, I'm just getting out of my position. So that guy just yelled, "You're not getting out of your positions, you're just building your positions more. Just get out of your positions." It was very difficult to cut loss at that point, you know, looking at 2200 ticks loss, and I was completely frozen. मेरे से तो नहीं कट रहे. So I just asked the guy next sitting to me, "Please cut my positions, I won't be able to cut." And literally he sat on my screen and he cut all my positions. I called up my manager and said, look, I'm not coming to office from tomorrow, and it's done. So he said, like, what? He didn't know about the loss, so he said, are you going out for some vacation or what? So no, I'm not going out for vacation. I'm resigning, and I cannot do it more. I just incurred a very huge loss. So hearing this, he rushed back to the office, and I was not in any frame of mind to continue this work. 2200 takes loss, 4-5,000 पे सब like छोड़ देते, तो 22,000 pounds loss is definitely not worth it, and it's just foolishness to sit back and trying to recover it. It's just consoling yourself. Management will say you things, but it won't happen, that's for sure, because you have never seen it happening. The next day, Sunil sir called up in the morning. And said like what happened, and I explained him the whole story. And I was relatively calm at that point of time. And I thought, obviously it might not be prudent to continue, but it's not good on my behalf to leave at huge losses. Let's try to recover back something and then leave, maybe, if I want to leave. And let's give it a shot, maybe things change. So after that, I started coming back, and slowly I started recovering back. But what used to happen was my weakness was still there. I never worked on my weakness still. So let's say from 22,000 I came back to 10,000 pounds. But again, there used to be a day where I used to lose 15,000 pounds in a single day. So my account again used to drift back there. So apart from losing time, and balance was still there, but apart from losing time and all those things, my patience and confidence was going down. And the self-belief was going down. Along with all these things comes frustration. You're sitting there, people around you are making bonuses, they're picking up bonuses, and you're still sitting at 25,000 pounds debit, nothing is improving. But one thing was clear, I wanted to do this work, and somehow I knew that I need to figure out how to survive now. I need to definitely change my style, and I need to survive. And luckily Gidon was there in India that time, and I got a chance to speak with him. And what Gidon told me that time again was like life changing in my trading career, at least. He told me trading, let's say, require 10 qualities, and you might have 9 qualities, but if you don't have 10 qualities, then you won't survive. You need to have all those 10 qualities to survive in the industry. So might be you have 9 qualities, but if you don't improve on a 10th quality, you won't survive, that's for sure. And he told me that instead of I don't want you to make 10,000, 5,000 pounds. What I want you to do is just make 300 pounds every day. If I see you making 700 pounds or 1,000 pounds, I would be very, very disappointed. Because it would mean that you have risked a lot more on table than what you can afford to. So he made me understand that what is your affordability at that point of time. You cannot afford to take maybe 1,000 pounds loss also. So you just need to make consistently, let's say, 300 pounds daily. And he asked me whether it's doable. I just thought, definitely it's doable. 300, like I can make 600, 700, 1,000. But what was important was not losing more than 400 pounds. That was the most important part of this whole conversation. So I came back and I thought, like, this is definitely time taking, but let's give it a shot, because what I am trying is not working in the markets. Like, my psychology is not working in the market, so let's try what Gidon is saying. Maybe it's coming with experience, so definitely there's some value in it. So trading from 300 clip, I reduced my clip to 10 and 5, literally. And I used to trade with a clip of 5 and 10, and next 5-6 months, I was constantly trading with 5 and 10. I maybe got it increased to 20 at some point of time later in the stage. And the aim was literally making 300-400 pounds daily. And if you see my statements also, I might have some statements also. I keep hold of them. So you'll every day see 250 pounds, 300 pounds, 350 pounds. Lost maybe 125 pounds, 150 pounds. Straight away from making 4,000, 5,000 in a day to that stage. That was a time when your patience literally got tested, because you never believed that with small clip you can make that much money. So your patience got tested, but at the same time when you did it, and eventually I got into credit, and then after next quarter I made band A, band B, like whatever benchmarks were there. But I did really well among the batch. That point of I remember that. In next 2 years I really did well. I was among the top traders in euro dollars. and maybe in the company, because Eurodollar was doing best in the company that time. So at that point of time, we were among the top traders in the company. And during all this time, I was being offered all these roles, deputy head and co-head of Jaipur branch. But I still loved trading. And when I became co-head also of Jaipur branch, I was trading very actively. But in that phase, I realized a few things which were very important. Those were that if you have belief and if you have that passion and commitment for work, then whatever bad phase you're going through or whatever your weaknesses is, you should be willing to work on those weaknesses if you really want to be good in this industry. It won't come automatically. You have to work really hard to work on those weaknesses. And then we were offered hedge fund, and in hedge fund the aim was to do big, and we are doing already good. So you thought, okay, fine, this is the next big step. And I still remember Gideon saying, don't go for the money, go for learning. It's totally different thing. And I still remember 2011 when everything went. If you look at charts, the spreads used to trade at 140, 150 plus 1 year spreads in Eurodollars, and they started drifting down. And from 140, 150, those spread corrected till 60, 50 within a span of 20-25 days. And those were the moves we were caught in. And within 7 days, I remember my account shifting from plus 50,000 GBP to minus 380 GBP within 7 days. Those were the kind of positions we were carrying across overnights. I was approximately carrying 15 to 16,000 lot spreads at that point of time overnight. And overnight, a lot of moves used to happen, and you just lose to money, and spreads, flies, whatever used to be there, just to diverge like anything. So got out of those positions. Again, you're standing at same juncture, but instead of 25,000 pounds, it's 400,000 pounds loss. And it's very easy to say, you can recover it and do blah 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 blah. But there's one thing in mind कि 25,000 pounds तो recover हो गए, but 400,000 थोड़ी हो गई, मजाक थोड़ी है कि ठीक है तुमने 25,000 recover किए, तुम strong हो, but 4,000 pounds, like 400,000 pounds GBP loss on your balance sheet is totally a different mindset. How much time will it take to recover? In last year you have not made that kind of money, you have made maybe 350, 375. Now from making 0 to 400,000 is a different game. Then recovering from minus 400,000 to 0. You don't have anyone to look in the company who has done that before. Maybe we had heard of stories, people were in a debit of 100,000, 125,000 and they failed. So 400,000 तो मतलब वो सारे thoughts वापस आए थे. All your beliefs, all your patience, all your hard work, everything gets doubted back again, and everything is on stake. Okay, it won't happen, it won't happen. But again, one thing which was there was the passion and the love, like the work which I used to love very much. I was very much into it. I'd never, like coming 11 hours work, I never thought it of 11 hours. There have been times when we traded. There was a time in Bangalore when I was trading in markets, and suddenly in Eurodollars I saw prices disappearing. And I thought, server down. And by the time I realized server down, it was 3:30 in the night, and basically the exchange closes for 1 hour that time. So I realized, okay, I traded in the close, and then I had some positions, so I waited for 1 hour for exchange to open back in the 4:30. At 4:30 exchange opened back, I had some outright positions. I got out of those positions and I went back home at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that was a kind of, you can say addiction or the passion we used to have. And I still till that we have that passion. Now coming back to the story of 400,000 pound loss. So, every back in the mind there was thing running कि नहीं हो सकता है, recover नहीं हो सकता है. But वो commitment था कि काम तो बहुत अच्छा है. Like I love this work. So I can't give up like this. Let me try to recover some balance and then we'll take a call. So again, slowly I recovered, started small, not small with 5 lots, because with 5 lots it would take years, but smaller than what I used to trade before, maybe 1/3 or 1/4. And the aim was to make 5,000-6,000 pounds in a day if you can, 4,000-5,000 pounds in a day, maybe 2,000-3,000 pounds in a day consistently. What used to happen was, used to make money, definitely that was not an issue, that making money, but let's say account used to come to 320, 325, and then suddenly there was a bad day and your account is suddenly 350. The toughest part was to challenge that, like to counter that, because whenever that used to happen, again all those beliefs used to come, with full force. कि नहीं ये सब बकवास है, this is all nonsense, ये ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा, ये 400 तो नहीं cover होगा. But touchwood, thankfully, all the things went in place in 2011, and that was toughest time of my career, like professionally and personally also. Personally, because I used to work till 11:30, 12 on my anniversary day. I used to work till 11:30, 12 on my birthday, and like personal life was definitely, sacrificed at that point of time, because the only aim was how to cover it back and how to get back to your, food. And eventually, I was very happy within 8 months, like in July, August, I was in debit, and by March, I had covered all it back, and I was sitting on credit of £150,000. So those 8 months, I would still say were the best time of my career. If you ask me what was peak of your career, I would say those 8 months were peak of my career. At the end of the day, I never made much money. It was just £150,000 for the year. But recovering back from 400,000 debit to 150,000 credit, that was the feel and that was the confidence what I got that time is unmatchable. Like you start believing yourself, everything falls in place. You learn a lot of things. Always, most of the times people learn when they are in debit or when things are not going good. When things are going good, you always don't try to experiment things. कि नहीं जो चल रहा है वो चलने दो. We are very reluctant to try when things are going good, and when things go bad, you always try new things. Your weaknesses get exposed. You identify your weaknesses, and it happens also. Like when we are doing good, we are making a lot of mistakes, and we don't listen because we are making money. And this human tendency अपन बोलते हैं पैसा तो बन लेना यार, ये बकवास ही कर रहा है, मतलब पैसा बनना तो कुछ गलत नहीं है, but वैसा नहीं है. And after that, it was like best of my times, and last trimester I made 100,000 in a trimester, and things are really going good. But still, my peak of career was those 8 months. So that is there. And in the end, like obviously it's not the end, and there will be a lot of ups and downs because we are into an industry where you cannot have a graph like always going up. You'll always have ups and downs. Always have ups and downs. In future also, I know I'll have ups and downs. But I think in the end it got refined to 3-4 things. Like if you really have passion to work that hard, or you really have passion for this work, because it drains you quite a lot mentally. Second thing, if you have that passion, whether you're ready to work that hardworkingly and committed, are you really committed for that hard work? And the fourth thing is belief. If you have all these 3 things, I think belief will automatically come in you, whether you're going through a good phase or a bad phase, and you'll smoothen out your career. So that was my journey till date with Futures First. I think from new joinees point of view, patience is very, very important. Everybody wants to make quick money. Everybody wants to make million in 2 years or 3 years, but that's not possible with everyone. I think you don't decide, you just I experienced both the worlds, and I knew what I wanted to do. It's more of a choice rather than which role is better. I always had passion for trading, so when I got into managing, it was more about managing people and getting their skills right, which is good. But I didn't. There was a stage when I had to take a decision whether if I take managing, I have to leave my trading, or if I do trading, I have to leave managing. So it was a choice among one. Depends on your style, but I would say at our time, the same thing used to be there. We used to make money in European hours, and American hours, all our money we used to give it back. Then so for 15 days we made a rule कि European hours में जो भी बनाया ना, American hours will just reduce a clip by 1/4 of whatever you are trading in European hours. And initially I think it makes sense because Americans are very sharp. They come with huge force, and it's difficult to compete with them. Eventually you will be able to, but initially if you have made money in let's say European hours, then try to preserve in American hours for some time and try to figure out, try to learn with very low cost. At least since you're 2 months old, try not to focus more on fundamentals at all. Just try to get feel of the markets first. It's just 2 months.
Exactly.
Till 2 months हमें ये भी नहीं पता था कि underlying क्या है, और we just used to treat markets as prices. That's it. Just open a ladder and it's a price. We used to look at treasuries, bonds, and we used to see treasuries ऊपर जा रहे हैं, okay, I'll buy. No other logic. And it used to happen कि treasuries जैसे you like the green candle used to be there and suddenly there's a red candle, make a wrong side spread. So that is how we used to look at when we were just 2-3 months old. And I think just 2 months old into this profession, just try to figure out what works best for you. There's no sure shot way. There are thousands of ways, and none of them is perfect, but all of them works. I think just कुछ भी मत सोचो भी कि क्या learn करना है क्या नहीं करना है. Markets will make you learn automatically. Just try to see at end of the day what mistakes you did. Maybe at end of the day, कि what could you have done better? Maybe in the morning or end of the day, what could you have done better? You know, to improve your trading today. What mistakes did you do? Talk to your manager. That would help you quite a lot figuring out what you're saying. That what learning would I make? The way I used to trade, and when I went into markets with that psychology, and again, 3-4 times, was that कि within a single day, markets cannot go or economy cannot go that bad. That itni sari interest rates, they have been taken out of the market or they have been put it into the market. And I said the prices will definitely come back. That's for sure. But with time I realized something, that prices used to come back and I was definitely wrong again, because even if the prices have come back, because at that point of time I could not afford that kind of lots at those prices. The prices would be there for there, and they'll again maybe let's say move 10 ticks and then they'll come down 30 ticks. But you cannot keep on holding your positions till that point of time. So there's always, for every trade, however good it is or however bad it is, there's a stop loss. And that stop is based on what you can afford. What you can afford, and try to keep your learning process least costly as possible, at least by not experimenting with averaging too much, because, or by not letting your balances run so much. Because at the end of it, you might be a very good trader, but your balances might have run so much negative that you cannot afford to come back again. So try to experiment, try to lose as much as only you think, okay, I'll be able to make it back, and it does not hurt. It definitely will hit your confidence, but it does not hit your confidence to a level where there's no chance of getting back again. So that's one thing when I realized when I was making losses. Obviously I exceeded my losses every time of what I thought of. So it was a very, very costly learning and tough learning for me. But it's not necessary that you go through again the same phase. When I told you guys that currently I'm trading 15 markets or 16 markets, so 90% of my trades are positional. So I'm holding my positions. There are positions like in current down move in euro dollars, I holded a few outrights and I was able to 80 basis point, means 160 ticks in euro dollars. So most of my trades, 90% of my trades are positional right now. And in bonds, treasuries also, I have positions, not with very big lots, but there's some combo, intermarket spread or naked bonds few lots, but I try to hold them for 20-30 basis points. That's the aim. So there are positions in bonds which I'm carrying for, let's say, 1 month or so. Initially I started as a complete intraday trader, but with time I evolved into a positional trader. When we came into hedge fund, so the aim was to trade, a complex mix of products. But I think I would say in last 1.5 years, I traded other products but with very, very small lots. But right now I'm trading all the products with equal lots or equal risk exposure. And it was just last 1.5 years when I'm actively trading all these markets. Now all of you are sitting in this room and all of you are just 2 months old. But I can tell you, somebody has a 10-tick affordability and somebody just has a 2-tick affordability. Somebody can afford to lose 10 ticks. It can depend on his balance, it can depend on his attitude, it can depend on his risk appetite, all those parameters. And somebody cannot just afford to lose more than 3 ticks also, because those 3 ticks would impact him psychologically so much that for him it's too much. And the guy who's losing 10 ticks, he's psychologically stable losing 10 ticks also, so it's fine with him. I think in the end it's the affordability point of view, like how much you can afford with those 2 lots or 3 lots. Lots does not matter, it can be 50 lots also. if you're fine with taking that 50 tick loss and it does not impact you psychologically, and if a 5 tick loss also impacts you psychologically, then you have to rethink on your risk appetite and all those parameters. See, initially it's very tough, and I can tell you the first time I made that 2200 ticks loss, which was highest in the company, I gave a call to one of the traders in Gurgaon, which I was very close to, and it just, what I told him, it was very shocking. If I recall back, I just used to laugh. I just told him, I feel like jump out, The office was on the 5th floor, and I told him, I feel like jumping from 5th floor right now. And he said, no, don't do anything like that. Obviously, I didn't mean it, but those were the feelings. And initially, it's very difficult to overcome those because you've never seen it, and it's very tough. But with time, it smoothens out when you realize, this is not end of life. This is not end of trading. Also, when you take a loss, the losses can be recovered back again. So that is what I think you need to give it to your back. If you have that passion, if you have belief in yourself, तो loss तो होगा, it's inevitable. If we are working in industry, we cannot work without taking a loss. You have to take that loss, and that makes you psychologically strong in life also. So that belief in yourself, your passion, your confidence would play a very important role, in getting you out of that loophole. But if you psychologically break down and you're not able to overcome it, talk to your manager and you should come out of it, because if you're not psychologically strong, then it's very tough to recover 5 ticks loss also. Forget about 10, 50, 20 ticks loss. So with time you have to become psychologically strong with the markets, with time, and learn from other people. I never ever took a break, whether I was down 400,000 pounds also, I never took a day off. And when I was down 20,000 pounds also, initially I never took a day off. Obviously taking some time off the screen definitely helps, and I try to read quite a lot. I normally, whenever I'm free today also, let's say if nothing is happening in markets or my positions are still intact till FOMC, nothing much will be happening in the markets, I'm assuming, I try to read quite a lot. Blogs, financial blogs, articles, try to understand what's going on in the economy. It won't help you directly initially, but it helps boost your confidence. Okay, you have knowledge. But it won't help in your trading, that's for sure. And initially don't focus too much on reading, but if ekdam hi free hai, then instead of gossiping here and there, try to read few news articles from Bloomberg in the morning. Things were quite different from where the company is at this stage and when we joined. Right now a lot of things are at stake, company has grown huge, and when we joined, not even the management knew maybe what they wanted to do or what, how will it evolve. So we never used to have stop losses. All these stop losses came when we, maybe because of us. Your learning cost has come down drastically. We learned by paying all the ticks to the market, but you can learn easily by, reducing your cost. So that's the whole advantage of experience and all these things, training. See, at this point of time, a lot of things are getting developed, on the macro point of view. Because tapering view is there, then there's Syria issues. So plus rates have gone up so much that there's a lot of hedging flow also coming. So when you're looking at volumes in the markets, it's not necessarily that it's all coming from traders. There are hedgers in the other markets who are just hedging their rate positions. So it does not matter to them whether he's 5,000 lot short, whether market goes up 10 ticks, because he is definitely long somewhere in a reverse position. So he's making maybe money out of those positions. So that's why when you see big lots getting hit, it's not necessarily that guy knows something. Most of the times he's trying to hedge his position which is in another market, in the swap market or Eurodollar swap market, or maybe let's say sterling, or let's say Euribor, or let's say treasuries. Because Eurodollar futures are primarily taken for hedging. The core views are expressed in the swap markets, steepening or flattening views. And people, most of the time, people come in Eurodollar market and hedge their swap positions. I don't hit also and I don't do also, because my trading style is completely different. But there are people in the company who are definitely, hitting those fake orders, and they're making good money. See, initially 2 months I would just say try and experiment as much as you can initially, because that is the time when why is your lot size 1? It's 1 not to make money. You're not supposed to make money in 1 year. you're supposed to learn, and that lot size is 1 or 2, just because you can learn as much as you want with 1 or 2 clips. So initially 6 months aim should be to learn as much as possible with lowest lots possible. But just imagine if you make money right now, your clips get increased, but you haven't learned enough. And then you would be experimenting market with 15, 20, 25, 50 lots. So you would be risking too much on stake to make very little money. But right now on stake is very less to learn maybe a lot of things, which might help you when trading with 50 lots, 100 lots. And in each and every trade, try to think whether you can trade this, whether you can trade this price or you can trade this way with 100 lots if your clip gets increased to 100 tomorrow. Just question your trading style. What you're doing with, let's say, 1 or 2 lots, can you do it with 100 or 200 tomorrow? If your manager says you have to trade with 100, and then try to perfect it on those lines. That will help you quite a lot. But let's say you entered a price, that price comes in offers, you try to scratch it. Now, this is spread backup, right? To make a spread. So why don't you wait for a backup to get traded? I think there's no clear answer to it. You have to figure it out yourself, because the time we used to trade in time today, markets have changed quite a lot. And on those lines, I think your mentors or your guides would be able to help you out better at this stage. Normally hedging has to be done with same on amount of dollars or whatever, same lot size, but people try to keep a directional element on their hedged positions also. So that's why sometimes they'll hedge more, sometimes they'll hedge less, depending on what their view is. Sometimes they'll hedge perfectly if they're seeing arbitrage in the markets. There's no clear answer to that. It depends on psychology from trader to trader completely. I might not hedge at all. I might hedge with a position which looks maybe more risky to people, but according to me it's a hedge of my position. That's their reading of the market. They have some of the manipulators or algos have data, where are people positioned. Yeah, that's why that's the only one guy who is flipping his order from 10,000 bid to 5,000. The 10,000 lot order was that guy, and 5,000 lot order is of that guy only. So most of the times when you're seeing flipping, it is mostly done by algos. When you're in losses, obviously you're not in sync with the market. That's why you're making losses. I'm just giving you the psychological explanation. And when you're not in sync with the markets, just answer yourself, is it prudent to go with higher lots? Because your risk reward or probability of making money has already come down, and you're staking more now on the table. So you'll end up making more losses most number of the times. And if you end up making profits also, then that profit is made in the wrong way, and it will hit you definitely at some point of career. So whenever you're running in losses, it's very natural or automatically sensible or prudent to cut down your lot size and first try to get in sync with the markets. Try to do for number of days, maybe weeks, months, till you're in sync with the market, you're comfortable making that money, and then increase your lot size. If you find, look at the logic also of probability and risk reward, you'll have the answer yourself. Again, there's no clear answer to this question at least, because normally we say that when run is going good, you should keep on increasing a lot size or trade with big, but many people have identified this way that they keep increasing till they have a loss making trade. If they have one loss making trade, let's say with 5, they'll again decrease it back to 2, 3. If they lose with 2, they'll come with 1, and then they'll end for the day maybe, if they lose with 1 also. But let's say if you make with 5, you make it 6, you again you can take it to 1000 also. So they keep on doing it till they make a loss on a single trade, and then they reduce again to 2, again to 1, and if they lose 1, then they not initially. But yes, I was doing good, but I was always aggressive in asking for a higher clip, and I used to make money with higher clips also. Till date I made it losses, and then the story was completely different. But yeah, see, a lot of things definitely depend on your balance. Even I'll say your confidence will depend on your balance, however strong you are. At the end of it, we are in an industry which is just profit oriented, so it will come this way whether you like it or not.